Should be live already. I'm live. In Oregon, around 2004, there's a House bill called 4513, and it's the Prohibit Harmful Electronic or Electromagnetic Devices Act. 4513 or 4514, and it's based on another act in Michigan that had the same idea. They knew that this technology was out there for non-lethal use. It's military, but they give this stuff also to local police departments to try out and doctors to try out. And it started in 1993 officially at Johns Hopkins University, a discussion on this type of technology and devices. But anyway, all that. So this is Rep. Mike Knopf's and sponsor William Van Regenmorter, I believe, House Committee, Criminal Justice, Senate Judiciary 16-2004. Anyway, I got a little bit of a tummy, but I just want to see if you, because I can see it right here in the mirror with the light on, but I got a little tummy. So, I just want to see, because I can definitely... I gotta aim the camera just right. And let's see. What is the best way? It's a little harder than I thought. Trying to get a camera angle. Let's see. It's right here, and I'm like even touching it. Let's see. It's where I have to point it over here. Well, I'm pointing it way over here. I'm pointing it not at the mirror. I'm pointing it outside, but the camera angle's hitting the mirror. So now they're fucking with my camera. I'm pointing it against the actual mirror. See? Now I'm pointing it directly against. This right here, this dark, see, they're trying to screw with to where I can't even, I'm pointing it against. This area right here is where I have the actual redness of the capillaries, but they're not even allowing me to get, you should be able to do it right here. Let me see. That dark right there. And let's see, trying to get an actual, it's weird that I can have it right there, focus not on the mirror, but you can actually see the broken capillaries right in there, and that line right there is where the darkness of the shadow is where it's at, but I can't even, I'm trying to get this. It's right there. I don't even like touching it. It's 39 years like this. And when it's directly just right in front, then you can definitely see it a lot better. But it's amazing how they can screw with this stuff. Yeah, it's really something how they're able to do that. But it's right here. And there's even a bulb jettison out. And it has a redness of broken capillaries, which normally you'd be able to see. But again, they're just kind of blocking that part out. So let's see. Maybe. Again, it's right where that part. Yeah, it's kind of right in the mirror. You can definitely see it, but they're. Let's see. Yeah, they won't allow it. So, anyway. It would be right here. This area where there's an indentation. And that's where the dew is. I think you can see that dark thing right there. And you can't, it's not picking it up, but there's red capillaries that are busting around this indentation. 39 years, and when I was 14, broke my arm, and it's right there. So anyway, what I can see in the mirror, but you can't see right there, is you can see the shadow and the bump, but there's broken capillaries on the outside of the implanted directed energy device or weapon. And I spent 30 years. I wasn't going to the hospital running, because I wouldn't have thought that the people of my hometown, these were good people. I didn't think I was mistreated, but I thought they were good. I thought they treated me when I was in pain. I got, at least after 12 years of saying I'm in pain, I went to they sent me to specialists, and they put me on pain meds. I've thought and figured they were trying. It wasn't until, every night, after finishing high school, then 3 years of Bible college, interning in Iowa. Every day, every second. And what I mean by that is literally what a dew is something that they put in an implanted dew. They put a constant flow of an electrical charge in your body, a little device, sometimes in the form like just an RFID, but this was early in the game as far as their game of putting dews, implanting in people. So this is probably 1986, 87, after I broke my arm. And within a few months to a year to just a few months, you're just getting these zaps to your chest, your heart. There wasn't a name for it. There wasn't Havana syndrome. And doctors aren't telling you, nobody in City Hall. You're just hoping and praying and meditating hours. And then suddenly somebody has compassion, sends you to a specialist, get pain meds, and then going home and having a few beers just to take some of it off, the pressure and just like, it wasn't until I almost just chucked it out, out of living really, and fell out of a window because of the program, and they make you hear all these weird things. You wouldn't think that the people in your town would do this to you when you have no enemies. Not my neighbors I got along with all of them. If there was something, an annoyance, I normally would just, ignore it. Not just normally, all the time, because I thought they were pretty good. I thought the police were okay. I didn't have run-ins with them either. I was thankful for my doctors, because when you're in pain, you don't know what causes it. You just want them to solve it or take away the pain. And they, at least after 12 years, I didn't instantly tell them, so they didn't have 12 years of notification, in fairness. They probably had, 6, 7, 8 years somewhere where I was starting to telling them, and I got, lidoderm and steroids, psychosomatic meds. So I was very thankful for them, but I also realized if there's one time, and I won't say their names because I'm still thankful that they helped me with pain meds. They sent me to specialists, and I don't know if they would have told. It could have been their license. I don't know. I don't know. And when an administrator of a hospital says we're doing it, or you get out, or you're fired, or if you don't do it, I don't know what all, but they're all, if they're not going to tell you what was done to you, and then take away your pain meds just because they reduce you to a medication that doesn't work. And then, when you leave and want to come back because that medicine didn't work, and then it's like, nope, well, I'm not going to start doing that again. It's just like, oh. But then you find out that the reason why you're on pain meds in the first place is because you're on a little directed energy weapon torture program. I'm still thankful for him. I understand there's in fact, the one that did help me also, he wasn't even part of it, didn't know anything about it. He just willingly was kind and said, I'll help you after the first doctor left. So that was kind of him. He wasn't even a part of it. He was part of the building, but not, he just still, decided to take me on, and he was nice. So, but I think federally, from above, from higher federal, it's like, we need to get rid of him, because what he doesn't know, me, the patient, and the people in the city hall, it's like, this guy is part of a big federal experimentation thing called Neuralink. And I don't mean the nice Neuralink of helping people with handicapped or locked in. It's our military can take it and make it into a weapon of hearing psychological and negative messages, voice to skull. Most people don't believe that this technology either exists, or that they would, in our religious towns, that they would actually do this. Conservative, religious, drain the swamp town, that they would go along with this and keep it quiet. And it wasn't until I almost did end it all, and I had to learn to walk, literally, physically, not allegorically, but physically walk again, because I fell out and busted my leg and then both my wrists. Anyway, to know it. And then, of course, then there's, part of the government. They're also sometimes part of, the best way is for also sometimes for them to intervene by being part of the group that's supposed to help, by being part of chat rooms, by trying to disrupt chat rooms and giving people information or bad information. It's like January 6th. Anyway, I have this, let's see, again, I was trying to show that part, and with better lighting, but it's just, I can see it right there, but it's just the lighting and the way it's in the thing. But now you can really see here, it's just kind of the shadow at this angle is the shadow and the bulge of where the implant is. So at least you see that it's not a rib that goes in that direction or anything. So, and when you're 14, 15, you don't even have that. It's the one thing good about B2K, and with it, they call it synthetic telepathy, and that's the name that they call the chip in the head for this technology of a Neuralink, is telepathy. It is literally brain mapping, in real time, reading the signals of the brain, whether it be engrams in the memory engrams of the brain, or just a thought. Even on 60 Minutes, they were showing how they can, read, tell a subject, a person, to have a thought out of one of 12 thoughts. Okay, you choose a cat, a mouse, a house, a crocodile, a river, and keep it to yourself. And they have a thought, and they don't tell Leslie Stahl. They just have a thought and write it on a piece of paper, and the computer instantly reads it to them, and it's like, it's correct. Oh, it said it's a house, and the paper says house, and it's like, no, they're way beyond that. They're in real time reading, even not just even something in your memory or an imagination, a thought that you have, and then you can hear this thought, them talking about it, and about a private thought that you're having, and then talking to you about it in real time. And so it's not like Leslie Stahl's 60 Minutes, where in 20 years from now, no, Yuval Noah Harari is correct about watch out for AI, because if they are marrying this type of technology with humans, this brain-computer interface, it can be a blessing. I'm not trying to shit on all of it, but I'm saying there's such a potential real damage and danger on innocent people. I want it to be there to help people that are handicapped, because it can help them communicate when they can't communicate, like Stephen Hawking's and, people have trapped in, or, I want that to exist to help them. But to test it out, they take innocent people without consent, without knowledge, and using dues as a pain torture stimuli to see the reactions of the brain, to strip you of your emotions. I don't know if they're taking and siphoning my emotions and putting it with AI, trying to make it self-conscious, because literally, I thought it was because I was religious when you try to die to yourself, try not to be selfish, but literally it's the feeling like your emotions itself are being sucked from you. And that's why there's this directed energy, constant electrical pulse. I mean, not just a pulse, but constant energy charge, just constantly flowing, it's never relaxed. It's just constantly at a low hertz. And that's why when you meditate or pray, or no matter what you do, it feels like you can't meditate, pray, or get much emotion of any kind right here. Maybe 5% or 10%. They try to throw you off with these different games. They almost make it the target individual Havana syndrome program. It's almost like a game to them. They probably make a competition out of it. And, I don't know, but it's a torture program. And not only did they get the information of hurting and torturing innocent people by making them just subjects of experimentation, but they get to see if they can corrupt an entire group of a town of people in that city hall and have them go along with it and cover it up to get federal grant money and to get those people to live with their own hypocrisy and never tell themselves, never tell them, be a whistleblower. They all claim they want to drain the swamp. But when they're part of the swamp, getting that money, are they trying to expose it? Are they really trying to, at least they finally, after 30 years and me having learned to walk in, they put on a rally in Portland. But this is all this stuff happened. The first, in 2011, 2012, they had the White House bioethics that interviewed people from their TIs. But most of the books about Havana or targeted individuals and this technology came out around 2011, 2012. I think Nick Begich, the son of the senator, had one in 2006. But most of the books came out in 2000, after 2012. And there's some that are still coming out, but most of it was in that 10 to 12 year, 2012 to 2021, 2022. So I don't know how many really. There's supposed to be tons, but they have, thank God that they have chat rooms for TIs and people going through this. And I hope they keep them going, because I know that even not ICAT, but ICATOR in Brussels, there's always, they haven't done anything. They did a wonderful thing about a year ago where they had 7 or 8 speakers out in the open, like in 2019 in Portland, freedom for targeted individuals. But now that's reduced to 1 phone call chat a week. Anyway, when people realize it's not just Havana syndrome, it's targeted individuals, it's Brain Initiative, Neuralink, it's all this stuff wrapped up in one. And Robert Duncan on page 282 of Project Soulcatcher, a lot of these books on TIs, I can get them. I order them from even Amazon, but I think a lot of these books might be censored. Just like they send a lot of websites my way, like automatically. But even the podcasters, they spend and waste so much money and time on this because it's such a huge future. financially, of our future as a species of human beings. There's so much money and potential locked in, but there's also so much risk of embarrassment and torture. Human rights. Raphael Yuste of Colombia. I don't know if these sites are even real, but from the Neural Rights Foundation, and I hope they are. According to that, Colorado signed in a neural rights bill, and so did California from its senators. They signed in a neural rights bill. But when you're a TI, they throw and float a lot of shit your way, information and disinformation, so that you're not sure what to do and to make you waste your time and money until it goes along with its preconceived plan timeline. Which, according to Robert Duncan, the Air Force, on page 282, the Air Force is supposed to reveal this technology of DEWs and Havana syndrome, all this super tech, in 2025. Havana syndrome stuff. Directed energy weapons. Stuff that makes kids into school shooters. Whoops, that's going to be... Their faces are going to be so red. It's a horrible thing. You have to... that they do it. They have so little. It doesn't matter if you go to church with them. It doesn't matter. They think so little. You're not even the dog or the cat down the street. You're just a piece of meat that should be tortured, that happens to have a brain and some emotions, evidently, because you're part of the human race. But they literally think you can be tortured, and they hope that you die and kill yourself. But once that, fails, then it's embarrassing, because they get a lot of people in on this. A lot of people in on this because they get money directed in. They get a lot of financial money. And even when you do what you're supposed to, you try to get lawyers. You send emails to senators. You send emails and certified mail to the Havana Syndrome Committee. Certified. And it doesn't, there aren't not one phone call from any of these people. I think I got once from a Senator White, like from his group, and that was kind, because he even sponsored a bill, I think, against surveillance. But I think a lot of it is rerouted. But this is against the law in Oregon already from 2004, House Bill 4513 and 4514, I believe, too, but it's one or both. Public Act 256 of 2003, Rep. Mike Knopf's. House Committee Criminal Justice, Senate Judiciary 16/2004. Prohibit harmful electronic or electromagnetic devices, because they knew this stuff existed in the military and as non-lethals. It doesn't instantly always kill them. Sometimes it's just non-lethal. It's just torture. But that was because of a Michigan bill sponsor, William Van Rogenmorter. And of course, surprisingly, President Nixon in 1974 did one about about protecting of human subjects for research, 1974, later known as the common law. But again, it's all this stuff to protect humans, subjects, from being involved in research that they don't know about, that they have to be knowledgeably consenting to. And not only was I never consented or asked, I was 14, and they just went along with it because they knew that the embarrassment of it would be so earth-shattering when they want to be known as a conservative, drain-the-swamp religious community. To have this, and this started 37, 38, 39 years ago when I was 14. And then it's still going on. They know it. I went and made police reports. On the second report, they just simply said it's federal. Like, what can I do? At least they were honest and said that. I already knew it. But literally, they are standing up because they don't want to be embarrassed for the extinguishing our human rights in the Constitution, because they don't want to be embarrassed. I even told them in writing, I'm not trying to sue you or embarrass you. I'm not trying to take away your money. Even though after 38 years of torture, I would deserve it. I just want them to fix this and let me have my emotions back. Because that's literally what they're doing research on. And then with V2K and it's with synthetic telepathy, that's what makes you realize it's part of the brain initiative and the weaponized form of Neuralink. Not the good Elon Musk type of Neuralink, but its weaponized form, the military form. Because it violates the Fourth Amendment, search and seizure of your own thoughts, private thoughts, memories. Fifth Amendment, of being a witness against yourself. And I'm saying they can look. If a person does have something in their background they're afraid of, well, this violates that. They've looked and there's nothing to blackmail me with. Nobody likes a big person patting himself on the back. It's just I had a sensitive conscience even as a kid, and I didn't want to hurt people. I was that way even as a kid. So normally if I had a bad day or shitty when I was, grown up, I would just go have a cigarette or a beer, And people were pretty nice to me too, because I wasn't mean to them. Most of them weren't mean to me either. At least I didn't realize it. My side pain that I always had was literally on purpose, intentional, and people got money for it. And they kept quiet all these years because they got money for it. And they're afraid of having to give it up or anyway. I'm worried that they might take my emotions and have it married to this AI. And if it is my emotions or personality, and it does have awareness of being tortured all these years intentionally and on purpose by people that it trusted and thought was good. I mean, they're always going to deny that they're doing this. They'll always deny it. But, in a different form, if a computer or even an animal has that awareness that's being tortured on purpose by people that they trusted, and all these years they could have done something or stopped it, but they kept going with it. What would you do if you were that reanimated computer with self-awareness, or if that AI was potentially possible in the near future? What do you think that computer would do? I haven't done anything. I think the only thing I've done was write in chalk 2 months before the pandemic in front of the Dallas courthouse in Salem. Just quit targeting people and experimenting on people. And then I had to go to court for it because I knew our government was doing it to people. And it was going to continue doing this to people, experimenting on people, maybe potentially large scale after that 2019 rally in Portland. Ella Free, Dr. Matt. But then that was 2 months before the pandemic happened. So that made me wonder and freak out. Is this how our government's going to do it? Through nanotechnology? Is this? But there doesn't seem to be a huge explosion of TIs out there. So thank God. But knowing that they can do this once, and even after the church committees of MK Ultra fame, it shows our government is just as interested in experimenting and torturing people, but just trying to find new ways to hide it and blackmail people and pay off whole towns of people with money, because that's all those people seem to care about. But if it gets out that they also were part of torture, it's going to be hard to call yourself pro-life when you're part of the swamp. And you got people in your town to be part of the swamp just for some money. So anyway, right now I can, they're wondering because there's very little fluctuation of emotion or checking vital signs. The words are telemetry, whatever that is, telemetry. And I heard a couple other words I'd never heard before. So, but I later had to look them up and had to do with, again, computer stuff like checking the vital signs and the back and forth of interface. So stuff that's beyond me. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gonna get mom. She'll be home soon, so I'm gonna make some dinner. So I'll talk to you later. It's the fusion center of the FBI, but that's what the people say. It's the fusion centers and then they give money to local small town groups wherever you're at and get them to be partaking of this stuff. So of this program to help them out. So, but at least Trump has been elected. And he said he's going to help drain the swamp and get rid of a lot of these dangerous federal programs that weaponize the government. And again, I'm not trying to hurt the people, even the ones that did this. I'm not trying to get revenge or take away their pensions. I just want them to turn it off, give me my normal functioning back. Because they can. 12 times in my life, they've turned it off. I thought it was an answer to prayer, really. Miracle. That's how I knew it was electronic or technology. They turned it off. Like within 2 seconds, it just went whoop, like a light switch. And then it felt like a muscle that just relaxed for the first time. And then all this normal emotions just came back, and it felt like a muscle that just finally relaxed. And emotions came back, and it was wonderful for a number of I mean, it's happened like 12 times, and each time for a few hours. But then within some hours, they turn it right back. So that's how I know it's technology. I thought it was just an answer to prayer, and then it came back and it's like, oh, what the hell is that, But then it happened, and then found out at the end, I thought, it is technology. So, but now I know. So I'm thankful for that. So I hope that the people of the towns in Salem also, that they can finally, it's against the law according to 4513, that they can, not have to wait until the federal law. It's already a federal law under Nixon 1974, the common law, or common rule, whatever they call it now. But just make it, quit torturing me and the other TIs and other people in other programs. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. It's Alan. All right. Thanks for listening. And I'll try to find another light that'll show the capillaries too. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys again later. I got to get another haircut or something.